So the Maple Leafs are interested in Scott Laughton, and honestly, this obviously makes sense. It fits all of the qualifications of what the Maple Leafs need. Number one, we know the Maple Leafs have been trying to get a center that fits exactly what they need, but they fit a center with term. They've wanted a center with term for a long time, and he has another year remaining after this one. Now, that's if the Leafs can get him this season, but the Leafs, they're desperate for a center. Let's be real. Now, this trade rumor is from James Mirtle of The Athletic, and he has confirmed the Maple Leafs' interest in Scott Laughton 100%. He's pretty plugged in, so this is a pretty good insider. He's very, very close to the Maple Leafs in general. So, can the Toronto Maple Leafs actually land Scott Laughton, and what would it cost? Now, I'm going to go over this, and I'm telling you what it's going to cost the Leafs is going to surprise you. It's going to surprise you for a couple of reasons, and the number one being is that every NHL team is obsessed with centers. They are the new right-hand shot defensemen. They are impossible to find, and also Scott Laughton, I don't know if you guys watch this guy play, but he is just that good. This guy is really, really good. Now, he's not an elite offensive talent, but his two-way ability is exactly what you need from a center, especially a playoff center. Watching him play every day is a pleasure. I actually watch a lot of Flyers games. He can play. He has feistiness, grit, leadership capabilities, a strong defensive game. He can score. He can score points. Like, he's not an offensive black hole. So again, the word two-way might be overused, but this is the definition of a two-way player. He is on pace for 40 points pretty much every single season. So this is a player that I wouldn't necessarily obviously call him a solidified second line center. And I know that this might be a weird term when it's used, but you might use the term as a quote elite third line center in terms of a top end third line center. I do think that this is a player that meets those qualifications, right? Because you can't quite call him a second line guy because I don't particularly think that he produces enough offense, but absolutely a third line center that's going to give you 40 points, strong two-way play. He can easily play on the penalty kill, win face-offs. This is exactly to the T what the Maple Leafs need. Now, when it comes to Brad Treliving and the Toronto Maple Leafs, they want, a bigger, grittier team, just in general, a more playoff style team, which makes a lot of sense. I wouldn't call Scott Laughton a monster of a player, but again, you don't necessarily have to be a giant 6'7" monstrosity rolling around the ice, because just because you're big doesn't mean that you can even play. Scott Laughton is a type of player that he knows how to play the game the right way. Like, it's just such a pleasure. He has the motor that never goes off. He's almost in the way of like a Ryan O'Reilly a little bit. Now, his contract obviously even makes him more of a bargain because he's only getting $3 million, and he's year 4 of 5 of becoming a free agent, right? So that even makes him more attractive. Like, he's more than just a rental. Like, this is why I really, really would love the Leafs to get him this season so they can have him for this playoff run and the next, because I really honestly don't think that the Maple Leafs are going to be able to keep him. I'm telling you right now, what this guy is going to get paid in free agency when he does become a free agent is going to blow your socks off. I very much doubt that the Maple Leafs are going to be able to re-sign him. Centers are a premier asset. I would love that. I just don't think it's realistic in my opinion. Now, let's look at this a different way. We want to look at this from the Flyers' point of view as well. They might not want to make this trade, right? Like, he is just so good that I understand why the Flyers might be skeptical. I mean, I'm not a fan of tanking in the NHL. I don't think the Flyers should do that. I think that you want to remain competitive. Why would you want to get rid of a great two-way gritty center that's going to give you everything that he's got? I just don't really... I understand what Flyers fans listening to this might be rolling their eyes because they watch him play every day, and Scott Laughton is damn good. I mean, he's also very important to the Philadelphia Flyers culture. He is an alternate captain for the hockey club, which shows how highly the Philadelphia Flyers actually do think of him. There was also a Kevin Kurz report that the Flyers do very highly value Scott Laughton. Now, that doesn't mean they wouldn't trade him. It just means that the trade is going to have to essentially blow their socks off for a trade to go through. Now, I don't think that doesn't mean that the Leafs shouldn't go for Scott Laughton, though. If you think the Leafs are going to be a contender, you just have to go for it. I really do think the Leafs have to put the chips down one of these years and really truly just say, we're confident in our team and let's go for it. Even though the Flyers, you could argue, are a little bit of a rebuilding phase, you can still argue, though, that Scott Laughton is a player that they still might want to keep around. It's not like he's a grandpa, right? It's not like he's like super, super old. So it still might make sense from their position to keep him around. So again, when I say massive offer, I'm talking about probably a Ben Danford and a first-round selection is probably what they're going to want. And that's just a start. I wouldn't even be that surprised if the Philadelphia Flyers start mentioning Easton Cowan in a trade like this. Because he is a center, because he is a great player, I'm telling you right now that this is a player that it's not that outrageous that they start mentioning even Easton Cowan's name. It's going to have to be a massive offer to pry Laughton out. And you're going to have to blow their socks off enough to say, you know what, we just have to make that deal. The Maple Leafs made us a really, really good offer. Now, from the Maple Leafs point of view, this is risky. You know what I mean? It is risky. I understand that Easton Cowan's his star potential has taken a little bit of a hit with the Maple Leafs simply because, you know, he had a tough World Junior. He isn't having the same draft plus 1-2 year, so it's taken a little bit of a hit, but so it's a little bit risky for the Maple Leafs because they could be potentially letting go of a frontline two-way winger with Easton Cowan. But again, when you're a contending team, you truly do just have to go for it. Anyways, I'm going to leave this video here, guys. If you could make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated, guys, and make sure to have a great day. Goodbye, guys.